So I hope my screen is visible and I'm audible clearly. So friends, welcome to episode number 3, week number 3 of 26 of Thunderous Thursdays or Thunder Thursdays. This is about short and sweet sessions on finance, which are surely very important for us in today's life, which everyone should be, I would say, accustomed to, or you can say be reminiscent of that certain small things which are going to make a lot of difference in my life, in our lives. So as usual, always before starting any session, I always thank the Lord Almighty who's given me much more than what I deserve. And when it comes to finance, it'll be incomplete if I don't thank my dad, because of him only I'm sharing the clinical part of finance with you. If you are learning something from me, it's courtesy him only. So this is my brief CV. You all are by now aware of it by now. I shared my link in today's various groups, other than my own groups, just to make people come for the live session. I'm not sure how many will actually come there, but then doing that is my duty. And I received a couple of messages in my page chat box. Please tell us more about yourself. Please give us your brief CV. So I forwarded them the same. So this is for those people who don't know me. Majority of you before that, this session was only for my group members. So now it is open to all the various WhatsApp groups where I am. So yes, here is my brief CV for all of you. So, and another thing, where are these sessions notified? I run free WhatsApp groups, two of them on practice management, medical legal, and on finance. The sixth group is on, and I plan to limit those two strictly to six groups only, because then it becomes otherwise cumbersome to manage. Those are totally advertisement free groups, and yes, even my own workshops are not promoted over there. So the aim is simple: to study and to have a learning with each one of you. Those who want to be added in over there, surely you can send me a message on my cell and I'll add you. And again, many of the audience that has been coming to me has been via YouTube channel as well and Instagram as well. So this is my YouTube channel link. There are more than 400 videos, all for our fraternity. Please do watch them and get benefited from various videos made for our specialty itself. So let's talk about today's session. If you saw the title of today's session, it was Banking Basics Part 1 question mark. So the question mark was there. Is it really a part 1 only, or whether I am going to have a couple of more episodes or a series on that? Well, that actually depends upon your interest. If you are not going to show much interest, I'll shift on to another topic the next Thursday. So if I get a good reach and if I get a good number of people watching here on live or on YouTube, I'll surely continue with the banking basics ahead in this series also. So let me ask you, put forward you a few questions. We all think we are banking experts, but do we really know banking? Even though some of us who are actually having parents or any family member in banks, so they also have this notion that bank to ghar ka hi hai, no problem, bank mein kar lenge kuch bhi. Then does banking really help us? क्यों सीखनी है हमको बैंकिंग? हम डेंटिस्ट हैं, हम डॉक्टर्स हैं, because that is the platform I've shared my you can say sessions with the doctors and the dentists. Of course, dentists are also doctors, no debate about that, but just to distinguish between our own fraternity and the medical fraternity. That's so. Does it really help us? Sure. Why not? Why does it not? Because if you are still stuck with your, you can say, mindset of old times banking, you are actually stuck in, or you can say, not making enough money. And plus, people are taking you for a ride. People read here or listen here, bank employees. So what difference does it make in our concepts of TS and WC? If you have watched the previous two episodes, you must be knowing what is TS and WC. For those who have not, let me put it across. TS means tax saving and WC means wealth creation. So then why don't people indulge in banking properly? Again, it is not my job, it is a banker's job. बैंक में होता रहेगा, बैंक सेफ नहीं है, बैंक डूब जाएगा, बैंक बंद हो जाएगा, प्राइवेट बैंक ऐसा है, नेशनलाइज्ड बैंक ऐसा है, मोदी ने सत्यानाश कर दिया, and all those things. We go on criticizing, we go on cribbing, Remember the story of the duck and the eagle. The duck goes on cribbing and complaining, the eagle goes on conquering. So always be an eagle. So let's come back and discuss what exactly banking hold for us. You must be amused that is really banking that important that I am devoting some time to it? Surely. Yes, you'll know much or more at the end of the session today. So let us do a bit of banking basics today because not many of us know proper banking. Because this is the second thing we need to know before even the taxation basics. I will say there are the journal basics first, then the banking basics, then the taxation basics, and then come the investment basics. What do youngsters do? What do the newcomers do? Newcomers, not in terms of your graduation or post graduation. Newcomers means probably somebody is into 10 years old practice but has not touched finance. So now, if he's coming to listen to my lectures, I would call him a newcomer. Or if he has newly arisen, sorry, uh, taste for finance. So, do you call him a newcomer? Yes, he's a newcomer in the industry of finance. So, this is one thing I always say. People always start from the reverse. They want to know the investment basics, not even the basics. They want to know which investments you have done, sir, which mutual funds you have, which and all and all. And they will also go a step further, explore the different newer currencies, cryptocurrencies, and other things without even bothering about the current existing good ones. So people do not take advantage of this good paradigm of finance, which is known as banking, and which also can earn us good money. And that is where the you can say the catch lies. People say थोड़ा सा फर्क पड़ता है 4% 6% 3% मिला तो क्या फर्क पड़ा. Technically speaking, an SBI or a federal bank, which are their interest rates are not even 3%, they are linked to repo rate. And when they are linked to repo rate, they are probably giving you close to 2.6, 2.6, 2.5, 2.65% of interest, not even 0.18%, not even 2.75. So what do? You think about avenues which can give you good. There are banks which are giving you 6.5, 7% returns in your savings banks account only. If those banks can be utilized, of course I understand many of the colleagues maybe from smaller towns where these you can say high earning saving account options may not be available, but then whatever you have you should at least explore those options. See, banking is very simple as that. I'll explain you in a very simple example. You do a banking with a bank. The bank is giving you a good amount of interest, 6.5 or 7% interest. The banking staff is very cooperative. You know the manager. Everything you can say the bank has made you a privileged customer. Everything is done on your telephone itself. 2 years down the line, there are multiple competitors. Now you actually see that you don't get the same service because the banking staff has been transferred or changed now. So your works are not done. Where what you used to do on telephone, now you have to go to the bank for every small little work. Or even if you send your associate or assistant, the work is not done. They say, please make the banking holder or the account holder come to us and sign in front of us. So that is where you feel, yaar, kya ek ghatiya bank ho gaya. And similarly, our perception changes. This is what we need to understand, that this is again an evolving process. So if you are thinking that banking was just another thing, trust me, I am the son of a banker. I can tell you lot many things which my dad has taught me and which I have learned over the period of at least my past 18 plus years of active banking. After 2000, you can say 3 or 4, I actively indulge in all kinds of banking, exploring different options along with dentistry, of course, because I had a knack for numbers. So I was again, my family banking was scattered somewhere. Somebody had an account in another bank, some in another bank. So I always used to be very intrigued by the various things. Somebody used a Pinnacle, somebody used a different software. So I was always amused that the same banks are using a different software and the end result is still the same. So what is the difference? People just know there are two kinds of accounts for people, commoners like us: savings account and current account. There are other accounts like a CC limit account, like a OD limit account, overdraft account. Again, those are for business sectors. let us stick to the basic things. People know that savings and current account, there are further variations also. There is a kids account. There is a no frills student account, which is a zero balance account. A kids account with a, you can say, if the bank is having 5,000 or 10,000 minimum balance, the kids account comes with the 2,500 minimum balance. Usually it used to be AQB, average quarterly balance. Now most of the banks are sticking to AMB, average monthly balance. What does it mean? It means that, for example, you have the bank's minimum balance is 10,000 rupees per day, or average monthly balance is 10,000 rupees. And it is a 30-day month. You have 20,000 or let's say 21,000 rupees in your bank account for the first 15 days, and you withdraw that money on the 16th, and then you keep it as zero balance in the next 30 days. 30 on the 30th, you again deposit 10,000 rupees. Will you be charged? No, because your average monthly balance will come out to be 10,000. Remember, there is a terminology known as EOD and BOD. BOD stands for begin of day, EOD means end of day. So if you withdraw on 15th, that is on the end of the day of the 15th, your balance is zero. So whatever balance was there, it will be counted for 14 days. That is why I mentioned the date 16, not as 15. So remember the EOD and the BOD part. Then different accounts, female account or a senior citizen account. This is just again, you can say a product derivatives of different banks. Some banks will give you privilege services as well. They'll come with different products as well. Of course, I'll come to that. So there are different types, different banks, different balance requirements for each and everyone. Nationalized bank, most of the banks usually do not have a requirement above 5,000. Only a few of them. There are still like SBI, which those who have a balance of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, rural, semi-urban, and urban. And again, that is a AMB balance only. So then there are banks like PNB, Canara Bank, those who have a balance of 500 or 1,000 rupees. If it is a normal account like a Jandan or other one, it can be a zero balance also sometimes. But for a normal savings account, the balance is 500 rupees, and with a checkbook, the balance is 1,000 rupees. Even these kind of nationalized banks like PNB, Canara, UCO, they still indulge in a withdrawal SIP kind of withdrawal. You don't need a checkbook. The banking is totally different in cases of private banks. They will never have a withdrawal slip. They will have a deposit slip only for cash deposit, and a checkbook or a check leave is a check. You can say a check is known as a check leave. The numbers is known as check leaves. So you need a check leave to actually withdraw the money from a private bank. Most of the private banks have a minimum requirement of 10,000. Some do have a, you can say, some are working with still 5,000 balance, but then majority of them are minimum 10,000 balance account. They have come with different options as well as 10,000 rupees balance, 20,000 rupees balance. For example, Kotak has Edge, Pro, and so on. They have a female version of a Kotak Silk account. They have a senior citizen account as well. Similarly, they have a high-end variants also. Some of the banks will give you a 5 lakh variant, 5 lakh minimum balance. You can say a 10 lakh minimum balance, 20 lakh minimum balance. There are products with high-end private banks. In nationalized banks, you don't get such kind of products. So this is one thing about the minimum balance. In a no-frill student account, there are actually no balance requirements. You can keep a zero balance also. So this is like a product which you should be aware of different kind of products. When you go to the bank, always ask for the different products. If you are going to do a banking with a bank, always do about the product variants on the bank's website. You will find lot of things about, you can say, which you will find sometimes bank employees are not aware of. I always say, if people can pinpoint a incompetency in a doctor, ये doctor अच्छा नहीं है, doctor बुरा है, so there are bad, you can say, incompetent employees everywhere. So if we are the ones to be singled out, there can be the same in the banking sector also. So I hope you are somewhat clear about the type of product variants which you are using. If not, you can search out for you can say whichever bank you're doing banking with, just open up the website of that bank today and see for the products, see for the savings account thing over there. Then another basics is the number of holders in an account. We always know that या account में single holder होता है या joint holder होता है. A bank account can have up to 4 to 5. Some banks allow 5 holders, rare, but 4 bank holders are allowed in many banks. 4 means the first is the primary holder, the other are the joint holders. If it is a single mode of operation, or sorry, a single bank account, then the mode of operation is single. If it is a 2 holder account, the primary holder and the second joint holder, then the operation becomes E by S, either or survivor. In that case also you have the option to pick and choose to be operated by the first one, to be operated jointly. It can never be to be operated by the second one. It will be either or survivor, either. It will never be only operated by the second holder. Only operated by the primary holder can be an option, as I said in the mode of operation. When the same becomes multiple holders, then the term either or survivor disappears. It becomes A by S, anyone or survivor. It will never be only the joint holders. Anyone can operate, of course. That is the mode of operation. That somebody goes, we have a joint account, I want to withdraw some money. The checkbook has all the names printed. You sign it. You are, let's suppose, the third holder or even the fourth holder. You go and you go ahead and give the checkbook. The banker will verify the signature and issue you the amount whatever you want to give there over there, or you want to withdraw over there. Now, whom does the funds belong to? It is very simple. इनकम टैक्स की भाषा में बोले, बैंकिंग की भाषा में बोले, मोड ऑफ ऑपरेशन जो मर्जी हो, पैसे जिसके मर्जी हो, कानूनन by the income tax, if you are the first holder, the money belongs to you. In terms of the gains, in terms of liabilities, gains means जो भी आपको saving interest का ब्याज मिलेगा, whatever saving interest you will have at the end of a month or at the end of a quarter. Earlier it used to be 6 monthly, फिर quarterly हुआ. अब कुछ banks like OBC used to give, now IDFC, AU Small Finance Bank, these kind of banks give a monthly interest. जाके वहीं पड़ती है बात, because उन्होंने अब चेंज कर दिया है ADB पे. They calculate it as an average daily balance. So they count it like that. But most of the banks, as I said, are sticking to the average monthly balance only. So कानूनन अगर आप बैंक के फर्स्ट होल्डर हैं, चाहे उसमें 4 होल्डर और हैं, 3 होल्डर और हैं, 2 होल्डर और हैं, और सिंगल होल्डर, you have to enter that account into your ITR. It anyways would have been entered by now after the revamp of your income tax website. चाहे आपको पता है चाहे नहीं पता, open up your income tax login and you will find all your bank accounts permanently over there जिनमें आधार पैन लिंक है. And most of the banks are आधार पैन linked now. It is the Supreme Court, it is the RBI data only that before the Supreme Court ruling came in November 2018, it is not mandatory to link Aadhaar with PAN. RBI data says 90% accounts were linked till that time. And जो link नहीं हुए थे, वो dormant थे, deceased थे, dead थे, unlocated थे, whatever, या NRI थे, whatever. But 90% of most of the people already have their Aadhaar and PAN linked. So there is no escaping route in that sense. So money belongs to the first holder. अब ये चक्कर ये होता है कि अगर आपके अकाउंट में होल्डर ज्यादा हैं और लेट्स सपोज गॉड फॉरबिड द प्राइमरी होल्डर डाइज, नॉमिनेशन भी है अकाउंट में, whom does the money go to? The nominee or the joint holder? The money belongs to the joint holders because they are the co-holders of the account. The nominee is just a caretaker of that sense. So then there are products where the banks give you privileged banking. For example, HDFC will give you a preferred banking, privileged banking. RBL has a signature, Aspire, Expedia. Something like Kotak Bank has a wealth wealthy league and a privy league. So many banks will have a different thing. The privileged banking includes this. They will sometimes group all your accounts of your family. It is also called as a grouping of accounts or family banking. जिसमें क्या होता है कि आपको एक प्रोडक्ट वेरिएंट दे दिया कि आप इसमें 10 लाख रखो एक अकाउंट में. आपका अकाउंट है, आपका आपकी बीवी के साथ है, आपके मदर का, आपके फादर का, आपके बच्चों का, प्रॉब्ली आपके भाई का. All those are grouped under one family banking. You can keep balance in one, and the rest all accounts can be zero balance in spite of what their minimum requirement is, because they have been grouped. जैसे मैंने एग्जांपल दिया आरबीआई का, आरबीएल बैंक का, रत्नाकर बैंक लिमिटेड बिलोंग्स टू महाराष्ट्र ऑफ कोर्स. उसमें एस्पायर लीग है, सिग्नेचर लीग है, उसमें मिनिमम रिलेशन है आपका 20 लाख का, 30 लाख का, 40 लाख का. When you do such a relationship family banking with the bank, मान लीजिए आपने 40 लाख का वो साइन किया, एक्सपीरिया जो उनका है प्रोडक्ट. Let's suppose you are not able to maintain 40 lakhs in that. You will not be getting any penalty for that. वो 2 या 3 महीने ऐसे रहेगा तो you will be automatically downgraded to the next version, probably Aspire or Signature, whatever it is, the second mode, उसमें जिसमें 30 लाख है for example. उसमें फिर आपने 30 लाख मेंटेन नहीं रखा तो you'll get grouped to 20 lakhs, downgraded to 20 lakhs. वो नहीं रखा then you will be downgraded to your normal bank. हाँ, तब भी आपने जो मिनिमम रिक्वायरमेंट है वो नहीं रखी, then you will be charged for minimum balance. So कई बारी प्रोडक्ट्स के हिसाब से usually banks don't charge you the charges, but they will automatically downgrade you. But yes, some banks do charge for that. Yeah, you opted for this, so you opted to maintain the minimum balance in this, so you did not do it. So banking becomes easy if you have a family banking or a grouping of the accounts in such a case. So be smart, and always you can say try to do a banking with a bank which gives you a family grouping option. Kotak has it, RBL has it, Yes Bank has it. Of course, you may have reservations. Mostly nationalized banks don't have it. So be smart and use those options. Because again, the mindset is nationalized bank safe hai, private bank safe nahi hai. I'll come to that, of course. So then, what is a CIF, CAID, CRF? Customer, you can say identity with the bank is known by different names. In State Bank, it is known as SIF. In Kotak, it is known as CRN, customer relationship number. So this is just, you can say, in most of the banks, it is a numeric 8 to 10 digit number. In some banks, like PNB, it is a alphanumeric as well. So whatever it is also known as your customer ID, or a customer information form, or a customer relationship number, or a CIF. Different words, but means that is your identity in the bank is known by this. What do I mean by this? Pre 2016-17, what people used to do, for example, I am sitting in one area of Ludhiana, area number A of my town. I have in HDFC Bank, for example. There is a branch in area B, area C. I will be smart कि हर बैंक में 10,000 पे FD पे मेरे को वो मिलता था कि TDS नहीं कटेगा. What people used to do, they'll go to bank A or the same bank in area A, open up account, वहां पे FD करवा लो. Because FD के ऊपर जब लगना शुरू हुआ था TDS above 10,000, it came for the first time in 2012. People started different routes. हिंदुस्तान में चोर रास्ता तो हम लोग पहले ढूंढते हैं ना. So then people went to the second area of the same. For example, SDFC only. They went to area B, चाहे 1 किलोमीटर दूर है. Then they went to area C. वहां पे भी same system. तीनों बैंक पे FD करा था. After 2016-17, there started a procedure known as dedupe. DE-DUP. Dedupe. Short for deduplication of customer IDs. What does it mean? What did it mean at that time was all the banks, or you can say all the customer accounts in the same bank were grouped under one customer ID. You were given an option. कौन सी आईडी रखनी है, ए वाली, बी वाली, सी वाली. आपको है मेरी ए वाली, वो कईयों को राउंड फिगर का शौक होता ना, तो मैं ये वाली रखूंगा, तो the other two would be merged or deduped into that. So then what happened? What used to happen? ये एक सिलेक्ट हो गए तो आपके वो तीनों आपकी सीआईएफ के अंडर दिखाएगा एक। व्हाट डज दैट मीन कि जो आप एडवांटेज ले रहे थे टीडीएस की कि इस बैंक में भी नहीं कटेगा इस बैंक में, अब आपका टोटल वो इकट्ठा हो गया अंडर वन कस्टमर आईडी। बैंक चाहे 10 में रख लो, सेम एचडीएफसी बैंक के 10 एरियाज ऑफ योर टाउन है, सब में रख लो फॉर एग्जांपल, वो लेकिन अंडर वन कस्टमर आईडी हो जाएगा। बिकॉज अब सारा कुछ सेंट्रलाइज्ड है, केवाईसी बेस्ड है, पैन एंड आधार बेस्ड है। आप स्मार्टनेस भी करेंगे जाके करेंगे, सिस्टम आपको अकाउंट उनको खोलने ही नहीं देगा, बोलेगा दिस कस्टमर ऑलरेडी हैज अ account under this customer ID with this PAN number already existing with us. So you can't be even smarter than the system now. So you need to have one safe. If you didn't opt कि मेरे को ये A वाला B वाला C वाला नहीं पसंद है, तो automatically randomly whatever bank selected you have to keep that safe. The other two would be merged into that safe or deduplicated into that safe. Deduplicated is another word for merged. Then KYC is mandatory. फॉर एग्जाम्पल पेंशनर जो देते हैं ना, वो डीएलसी देते हैं ना, डेथ लाइफ सर्टिफिकेट देते हैं, तो कि वो डेथ ओब्लिक लाइफ सर्टिफिकेट दे आर अलाइव एवरी ईयर इन अक्टूबर दे हैव टू गिव। वो डेट गवर्नमेंट का एवरी 2 महीने एक्सटेंड कर देती है टिल दिसंबर, बट दे हैव टू गिव अ लाइफ सर्टिफिकेट एवरी अक्टूबर इन द मंथ ऑफ अक्टूबर टू मेक श्योर कि पेंशन को मिसयूज नहीं किया जा रहा है एंड द होल्डर इज अलाइव विड्रॉइंग द पेंशन. Similarly, for other people, for those who are having normal accounts, the KYC is mandatory and it gets due every 2 years as per the RBI norms. Occasionally, a bank may ask you earlier also, sometimes later also, but it is a system generated thing. You go to the bank, आप कुछ और करने गए हैं, मेरी ये प्रॉब्लम है, मेरे को एसएमएस नहीं आता है, कोई इनेबल करने लगा है, the bank will ask you, सर आपकी KYC ड्यू हो रही है, सिस्टम प्रोसीड नहीं करने दे रहा है. Sometimes even your request will not be allowed to process ahead unless you complete the KYC. वो पुराना जमाना होता था ना, हम लोग बोलते थे कोई बात नहीं, आप आज तो करो ना, अगली बारी मैं आऊंगा कर दूंगा. Now there is nothing called as an अगली बारी. Your current request might not be processed. Your account may be temporarily put on a hold, not sealed of course, put on a hold temporarily if you sometimes do not complete the KYC norms. Every account is supposed to be KYC and Aadhaar compliant every 2 years. So I hope you're making some sense of a few things which I'm trying to tell you. So then advantages of both family and privilege banking are there. Privilege banking में अब जैसे मैं अगर फैमिली बैंकिंग नहीं भी करता हूँ या प्रिविलेज बैंकिंग करता हूँ, मेरे लिए सबसे बड़ी एडवांटेज क्या है, I only need to either send my assistant or maybe myself go for a cash deposit occasionally. Rest everything I can do at home. With a privileged banking or even a family banking, I get the advantage of a cash pickup also from my home 1 to 2 to 3 times a month, depending upon my relationship with the bank. Relationship with the bank का मतलब ये नहीं है कि मेरा कोई चाचे का लड़का है, फूफा का लड़का है. It means that whatever money relation I have with the bank or whatever you can say grouping of banking I have, which accords me a status, कि in this grouping status you are allowed a two times cash pickup or a cash, even a withdrawal also you are allowed that. Sometimes कई बार एक होता है, कई बार कुछ भी नहीं होता, कई बार 2-3 होते हैं. So it depends upon that. So even for the family banking, those privileges are there. Rest, mostly we need maybe 1 or 2 things like making of a DD. With the coming of NEFT and RTGS, these things are no longer required. You can say rarely somebody would ask for a DD. So those things are taken care of. Even if it is there, even sometimes along with the cash and the pickup and drop, I get a DD option also. The rest, every kind of banking I can do at my residence via my net banking. It is so simple in today's time. I don't need to go to even do an EFT or RTGS to the bank. I just need to activate my net banking, just set my limits, just add my pays, and bingo. After the cooling off period. Cooling off period means that whenever you add a new pay, some banks will not allow you to transfer some amount for 30 minutes, some 2 hours, some 4 hours, some 6 hours, some 12 hours, some 24 hours. कई थोड़े से शक्की बैंक होते हैं, यस बैंक की तरह वो 3-3 दिन नहीं अलाउ करते, एसबीआई भी उस कैटेगरी में आता है, कई बार वो 3-3 दिन नहीं अलाउ करते, और दे इफ दे अलाउ फॉर 3 days दे सेट अ लिमिट कि अगले 3 दिन तक आप 50,000 या 1 लाख ही ट्रांसफर कर सकते हो. सो देयर आर वेरियस बैंकिंग नॉर्म्स. What it is not mandatory that you learn all the ways and norms of all the banks, but it is mandatory that you learn the ways and norms of the banks you are banking with. Of course, you may be banking with 2 to 3 to 4 banks maximum in the family, so you should know how they function, how those things are there. Then I come to the another important topic which is almost mandatory today, but till 5 years back it was not there. Being a banker's son, I know its importance since, you can say, childhood only, because my banker dad always used to encourage these things. जब हम कोई भी सेविंग अकाउंट खोलते हैं, इवन आज के डेट में आप कोई भी अकाउंट खोलें, म्यूचुअल फंड भी नया स्टार्ट करें, तो the nomination is mandatory. Let's stick ourselves to banking only in today's time. So whenever you open up a savings bank account, आगे अलग से DA1 लगता था उसके साथ में. So DA1 is a nomination form. So अब आप देखेंगे जो बैंक का सेविंग अकाउंट का फॉर्म होता है, उसी में कोई 3rd या 4th पेज पे नॉमिनेशन के नीचे DA1 लिखा होता है. So DA1 is the default whosoever you want to put in as a nominee. अगर आप 3 होल्डर 4 होल्डर है, फिर भी आप नॉमिनी रख सकते हैं, although it is not mandatory of course, but सिंगल या जॉइंट होल्डर्स को तो हमेशा रिकमेंडेड है कि रखो, but it is always better to be on the safer side to keep a nominee. फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू वॉन्ट, किसी को लगा कि मेरा एक ही बेटा है, मैंने उसको नॉमिनेशन दिया हुआ है अपने अकाउंट में, बट दैट उसका बेटा कल को ड्रग्स लेने लग जाता है या कुछ गलत संगत में चला जाता है, इसलिए मैं अपनी प्रॉपर्टी को या अपने बैंक बैलेंस को डोनेट कर दूंगा. आई विल गिव इट टू अ ट्रस्ट, टू अ मंदिर, टू अ गुरुद्वारा, बट आई विल नॉट गिव इट टू माई सन. सो व्हाट इज द फॉर्मूला, व्हाट इज द फॉर्म फॉर दैट? फॉर्म DA2. DA2 is the cancellation of nomination. So DA1 is putting in of nomination default, which is there. If you want to change, if you want to cancel your nomination, you go to the bank, just you ask for a DA2 form कि मेरे को nominee रद्द करना है अपना. So they'll automatically ask for maybe a KYC proof, and along with that you can do a thing. You can do cancellation of a nominee. Many banks allow this via net banking as well. Not all, but many banks. Explore the options. The net banking is really going, you can say, wide and exploring all the options these days. So if you have not explored the net banking of your bank, you sure are missing something. Then the third form is, मैंने अपनी बेटी को नॉमिनी बनाया था, अब मेरे को अपने बेटे को नॉमिनी बनाया. Just an example, no gender bias. Just an example. So मैंने बेटी को बना दिया था नॉमिनी, अब मैं बेटे को बनाना चाहता हूँ. So you want to alter the nomination, then for the reason for that is, or the solution for that is DA3. So go to the bank, ask for a DA3 form, and they will change the nomination. It is the alteration of nomination. Purana rad, naya add. So combination of DA1, DA2 only, but this is a DA3 nomination form. So these are a few basics which you need to know, which everybody needs to know, and this is not within nationalized or the private. This is with every bank. This is the standard RBI guideline. So you need to be aware of these small little things which can actually make a, you can say, a big difference. Somebody expires and doesn't have a nominee. Trust me, वो कोर्ट से लेटर बनाना, वो लीगल हेयर सर्टिफिकेट बनाना, वो फिर कोर्ट से ऑर्डर लेना, it is sometimes a big pain, and big pain, what you know that. So always have a nominee in all your account. If you don't have nominees, just check them online. You can check your nominations online. If your bank does not allow you to check online, just go to the bank, inquire about it. If there is no nominee, then ask for a DA1 form separately. It is available separately also, and get your nomination done. So then थोड़ा सा पहले पीछे जाएं, अगेन 2018 से पहले जब आधार पैन लिंकेज नहीं थी, तो 2 तरह के अकाउंट होते थे, अकाउंट ए, अकाउंट बी. ये मेरा 1 नंबर अकाउंट, ये मेरा 2 नंबर अकाउंट, ए और बी. अभी भी लोग बहुत सारे उस नोशन में हैं. In today's times, there is nothing called as a white or a black. जहां आधार पैन हो गया, वो अकाउंट ए ही है सारा, अकाउंट बी नाम की कोई चीज नहीं. जिसको डाउट है ये मैंने इनकम टैक्स वालों को नहीं दिखाया, जस्ट सिंपल थिंग, आज रात को अपने इनकम टैक्स के वेबसाइट पे लॉग इन कीजिए और अपने बैंक अकाउंट देख लीजिए कौन कौन से लिंक हैं. उनमें से शायद कुछ ऐसे बैंक अकाउंट भी होंगे जो शायद आपने बंद करा दिए हों, वो भी दिख रहे होंगे वहां पे. So don't underestimate the income tax department. Don't underestimate the banks. Everything is getting streamlined, and there is nothing called as white and black in today's time. So I hope this has actually, you can say, rang a cat amongst the pigeons. So then checkbook leaves in savings banks. Also now the trend has started to sell the checkbook leaves. Earlier banks used to give one checkbook every month. Then it became one checkbook every quarter. Then it became one checkbook every 6 months. Some say one checkbook every, you can say, 1 year. There are banks which are doing different things. So then sometimes the checkbook has a 10 leaves, 25 leaves, 40 leaves, 50 leaves, 60 leaves, 100 leaves. So that is the rate. From minimum 10 to 100 leaves is the option. So you get charged for that. So saving में अभी भी बहुत सारे banks में एक quarter में एक 25 पेज की 25 leaves की checkbook is free without charges. Beyond that, if you need, it is there. Again, I would say in today's times, checkbooks are very less needed, courtesy the NEFT, IMPS, and RTGS. You don't need them. So, current account, most of the things are paid. Everything is paid. Even the minimum balance requirements are high. Most of the private banks have now abolished their 10,000 balance product. They come with a minimum 25,000 balance product. Nationalized banks still have, you can say, 5 to 10,000 minimum balance products. So you can do that. इन प्रिविलेज या ग्रुपिंग में आपको जीरो बैलेंस भी मिल जाता है. अगर आपकी फैमिली बैंकिंग है, ग्रुपिंग है, तो यू गेट अ जीरो, यू कैन से. प्रिविलेज और ग्रुपिंग का सबसे बड़ा बेनिफिट होता है आपको किसी किस्म के कोई भी चार्जेस नहीं पड़ते. चाहे बैंक एसएमएस के चार्ज कर रहा है, चाहे डेबिट कार्ड के चार्ज कर रहा है, चाहे आईएमपीएस के चार्ज कर रहा है. सम बैंक्स चार्ज ऑनलाइन फॉर आईएमपीएस. फॉर एग्जांपल आरबीएल बैंक, फेडरल बैंक. आप बैंक जाके आईएमपीएस करें या एनईएफटी करें, बहुत मिनिमम चार्ज है जो आरबीआई ने किया हुआ है. आरबीआई ने तो वैसे मैंडेट किया है कि आप फ्री करो, लेकिन टू सेव ऑन द स्टेशनरी पार्ट एंड मे बी पुट अ मिनिमम चार्ज, बैंक्स डू चार्ज फॉर दैट सर्विस व्हेन यू गो फिजिकली टू द बैंक. But majority of banks have made those services free over the net. IMPS, RTGS, and NEFT. But banks like RBL, banks like Federal, they charge for IMPS services done online also. चाहे minimum charge हो 5 रुपए plus GST, 5 रुपए 90 पैसे, but that पैसा in the account sometimes start feeling annoyed. So privilege of grouping में, this is the advantage that you actually get lured, you can say get saved from एनी काइंड ऑफ एक्स्ट्रा चार्जेस. बाद में आपका सीए आपको तंग नहीं करेगा, यार क्या छोटे छोटे चार्जेस डलवाते रहते हो या कुछ करते रहते हो. सो यू गेट, आई लाइक टू डू ग्रुप बैंकिंग बिकॉज आई हेट दीज काइंड ऑफ चार्जेस. जहां पे पढ़ने वो तो पढ़ने ही पढ़ने, बट आई एम, व्हाई शुड आई बी पेइंग द बैंक फॉर अ सर्विस? वी आर स्टिल नॉट इन द वेस्टर्न वर्ल्ड, वी आर स्टिल इन द इंडियन सेक्टर. सो एक बहुत कॉमन क्वेश्चन होता है कि करंट अकाउंट रखें, सेविंग्स अकाउंट रखें. सो आई ऑलवेज से इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट को कोई जीरो फर्क पड़ता है कि आपके पास करंट अकाउंट है कि सेविंग अकाउंट है फॉर क्लिनिक. देन द सेकंड क्वेश्चन इज मेरे नाम पे हो कि क्लिनिक के नाम पे हो. अगेन इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट को कोई उससे फर्क नहीं है, irrespective of what your CA has told you till date. I'm saying it on record on national screen. You can say it does not make any difference to the income tax department. The only difference is कि जैसे मैंने बताया, अब बहुत सारे बैंक्स जो हैं, सेविंग्स बैंक के रूल्स टाइटन हो रहे हैं ना, चेकबुक भी बेचने लग पड़े. इन द सेंस नाउ मोस्ट ऑफ द बैंक सिंस पास्ट 5 years have put a tab on their IBTs, in branch transactions. So अगर आप बैंक में जाके कुछ करते हैं, डिपॉजिट या विड्रॉ, एक बार डिपॉजिट करने के, एक बार विड्रॉ करने के, दिस इज काउंटेड एज 2 transactions. बैंक में जाके एनईएफटी किया, बैंक में जाके चेक डिपॉजिट किया, दोज आर नॉट काउंटेड. वो ड्रॉप बॉक्स में डाल दिया या वो कर दिया. आईबीटीज आर विच आर डन एट द कैश काउंटर. मोस्टली बैंक्स अलाउ 4 to 5. सो इफ यू हैव अ हाई काउंटर मींस की ज्यादा इनकम जनरेट होती है क्लिनिक में आपके, और आपके बार बार घर में नहीं रखना चाहते, यू वांट टू डिपॉजिट इन योर अकाउंट, द करंट अकाउंट इज द बेस्ट ऑप्शन फॉर यू, बिकॉज द करंट अकाउंट यूजुअली डज नॉट कम विद अ bar of doing any transactions. You can do unlimited transactions, mostly any number of withdrawals, any number of deposits. The disadvantage is that current account does not give you any kind of interest on, even if you have 10 lakh rupees put in over there. So the saving accounts will give you interest, as I said, minimum 2.5%, maximum 7%, जो आज की डेट में exist करता है. I'll come to that, of course. maybe in later parts about the interest part. Since so, I hope I've given you lot many points to ponder upon today. The banking is such a sweet thing that I can actually go endlessly for the next 3 hours. It is one of my favorite topics along with taxation. I hardly had anything on my slides. You just noticed there were just a few lines. And whatever I spoke, it was extempore because I love banking. I love taxation. I love these things. I don't need a pointer in my slides to just explain you those things. But then somewhere we have to put a stop. This is not supposed to be a webinar. This is supposed to be a short session. So I'm trying to stick to that. So already I think I have, you can say, crossed my limit of 30 minutes. So always remember, be financially literate. Start with the basics, and banking basics is one of them. Slowly build on that, and always remember, जिसने भी कभी जिंदगी में बहुत कुछ स्केलेबल किया या अचीव किया है, he's also started from 0 or a 1. Remember that. There is always a start from the scratch. नहीं कुछ आता है आपको, if you are totally illiterate in finance, no problem. The first thing is to accept, acknowledge that, and start learning that. मैंने भी कभी start किया था, मैं भी 0 था. So this is the difference you need to make in today's your lives, because financial literacy is very important for every one of us. So what is the incentive for you? The incentive is, of course, financial literacy. Like other life skills, it is an important life skill. Increases financial resistance and promotes savings and financial success, prevents costly financial errors, reduces anxiety, and of course, cushions the impact of recessions. So depending upon your response to this banking session, I may take the next part of this, but if not, then I'll move on to another topic. So your views and your opinions and your comments and your, you can say, watch hours are the only criteria or only benchmarks for me to gauge that to my end. And you have 6 days to do that. Otherwise, I move on to the next topic, next short topic in the next session. So it depends upon you what you want me to speak. So I hope I have put you in a think mode regarding banking, whatever little I have shared in these 30 plus minutes. So if this does not still ring a bell in your ears, then I really can't help you. So thank you so much for your patient hearing and listening. And this is my YouTube channel. Most of the videos will be there on YouTube. This will be also going on YouTube. And this is my number. This is my KYC. You can get in touch with me. Most of you are in my groups. But if you want to be added in my groups, if you're not there, I run these 2 groups totally education based. Those who are there, they know it. It is absolutely no nonsense group. No crap is shared over there. No good morning, no festival greeting, no promotions, and they'll complete 4 years in Feb. So it's been 4 years that we have been running this. We are keeping it away from commercialism, whatever way I can. So this is my another social media presence, Clubhouse, Instagram. I do plan to take up a few things soon in the near future on these 2 platforms, maybe. So do send me your feedback. Bookers and brickbats both would be welcome in equal measure. So thank you so much, and I stop my share for question time, and I will move on to my Facebook page where the session is happening to just acknowledge a few of you who have been attending live with me. So hello, Dr. Ramchandra. You have been one avid fan who always attends all my sessions. Hi, Rajat. Hi, Dr. Ajay. Hi, Dr. Charu. Hi, Dr. Ajay Patel. Hi, Dr. Ajay Gupta first and now Dr. Ajay Patel. So hi, Dr. Priyanshi Desai. Hi, Dr. Nimish Likhani. Hi, Dr. Sunera Nurani. Hi, Abhishek. How are you? It all started because of you 2 guys. You double A boys from WDA. It is in the lighter vein. Abhishek, don't mind, please. You and Anand have been instrumental in bringing me online. Of course, the effort or the acknowledgement for that is due for you as such. Hi, Rishabh. Hello, Twinkle ma'am. Hello, Dr. Ramchandra sir. Once again. Hi, Lalit Patil sir. Hello, Dr. Ajay Changrani sir. So if there are any questions, I'll be here for a couple of minutes, or else we'll break for the day. So if there are any, please do let me know, or I'll be waiting. So I hope you have liked today's session, whatever I have tried to impart in these 30-35 minutes, because we all actually take things for granted in banking. Banking is something which we should not be taking very lightly. It makes a lot of difference if your money is earning at 2.5% or if your money is earning at 7%. Most of the people don't believe in keeping the money in the bank. Again, a very wrong approach. The money kept with you is going down in value. Depreciation is happening to it when it is stored in your trunk, commode, false ceiling, your sofa, your pillow, your bed, your cushion, wherever you have kept it. It is your choice. We call it a BM, black money. Of course, which is in bank is now called as a white money itself. So you need to decide for sure that what exactly is there. So, hi, Dr. Rucher, please explain about interest charges for AU Small Finance Bank. Most of the small finance banks now have also reduced their interest saving rates, what they are doing, but they have different slabs. For example, 0 to 1 lakh, they have a slab of 4%, 1 to 5 lakh, they have a different slab, maybe 4.5 to 5, then 5 to 10, then above 10 to 25 or 25 above to 1 crore, they have a different slab. So whatever money you are keeping, it is calculated on ADB basis these days in bank, average daily balance. So if your bank is, you can say, doing a lot of transactions, the average daily balance, of course, you can't calculate that. That is being calculated by the system itself. But what I advise is if you have kept your money somewhere to grow, like a small finance bank or like a high earning savings bank account, do not do much transaction over there. Let the money grow over there. It makes a lot of difference if, for example, you have kept your money in a bank, which is 1 lakh rupees in a bank. So it'll give you 2,500 in a bank. It'll give you 7,000 in a bank. There is a difference of 4,500 per 1 lakh rupees sometimes. So if you suppose that 20 lakh rupees is kept as a, for example, a savings, or you can say an emergency fund plus your routine banking, you have kept some money in the bank, that 45 into 20 becomes a huge amount. That itself becomes your 1 lakh rupees or 90,000 rupees. So this is the difference you need to match. And if you are earning that much extra amount, of course, that will be subject to tax. I agree that a cushion of 10,000 is there. So of courtesy 80 TTA. But what I mean to say is even after paying tax, if you are getting more out of it, somebody who is having 2.5% interest, he is in 30% bracket, he gets 0.75 deduction. So he's actually carrying home 1.75. Let's forget the cushion for a moment. Somebody having 7% is again at 30% will be having 2.1. So he'll be carrying home close to 5%. So 1.75 and 5 is still 3 times. You are earning 3 times more even after paying tax, the same tax. You need to remember that. You need to put into your head. Sometimes we ignore these small little things, but these small little things, when these things are invested, the extra difference what you're getting in a year, if it is invested back, can earn you good amount of SIP. If it is invested in a mutual fund, it'll fetch you a good amount of returns. So this is the thing you need to worry about. That money which you have earned extra can earn you further extra. So it all starts with, and this is only for you. Maybe for a couple of or 3 of your father, your mother, your wife, your maybe siblings, other family members in your bank. Imagine that amount can be huge. So don't look at that 2.4% or 5.5%. There is a difference. There is a huge difference. And over the period of time, over the period of money, it starts creating a huge difference in the number of years we keep that money. Of course, सारा पैसा तो हम इन्वेस्ट नहीं करते हैं ना सारा पैसा घर में रखते हैं. तो जो भी बैंक में रखा, अगर बैंक में सिर्फ 2-3 लाख रखते हैं, then it is your choice. फिर जो मर्जी कीजिए. But everyone should have a sizable. अब emergency fund भी आपका बैंक में नहीं है, which we keep 5 to 7, 5 to 8 लाख हम लोग बोलते हैं. वो तो बैंक में चाहिए, बैंक में और भी चाहिए आपको. इमरजेंसी के अलावा भी पैसे रखने होते हैं, बच्चों की फीस जानी है, आपके एक्सपेंसेस होने हैं, क्लिनिक के होने हैं, ऑल दोस थिंग्स आर देयर. इफ योर सिस्टम इज टाइड अप, इफ यू आर नॉट मेंटेनिंग दैट, तो घर में रखते हैं, कैश में सारा कुछ करते हैं, तो फिर कीप ऑन डूइंग इट. आई कांट कमेंट ऑन दैट. बट रिमेंबर, बैंक्स अनसेफ नहीं होते हैं. हमारी सोच अनसेफ होती है कि बैंक डूब जाएगा. दीज डेज बैंक डूबते नहीं है. बैंक्स मर्ज हो जाते हैं, कंसोलिडेट हो जाते हैं, टेक ओवर हो जाते हैं, बट दे नेवर क्रैश. द बिगेस्ट एग्जांपल इज यस बैंक. 5 मार्च 2020, जस्ट बिफोर कोविड लॉकडाउन, बैंक क्रैश कर गए. सबसे बड़ा सेवियर 49% इन्वेस्टमेंट के साथ सबसे बड़ा इंडिया का नेशनल बैंक, स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया. It had given a time of 28 days for the moratorium कि 3 अप्रैल को खुलेगा दोबारा. 15th of April the limit was taken off. At this point, I want to put across one more point. Cooperative banks को जिनको हम बैंक गिनते हैं वो बैंक नहीं, they are cooperative societies. एंड बैंक्स हम गिन लेंगे ना, नेशनलाइज 22 थे, 15 रह गए, 15 थे 9 रह गए, प्राइवेट बैंक 10 12 15 20 हैं, नेशनलाइज बैंक प्राइवेट बैंक मिला के भी हम कहेंगे चलो 50 हैं इन इंडिया फॉर एग्जांपल. कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स आप सोचो कितने हो सकते हैं. यू माइट बी इवन शॉक्ड बाय द नंबर. देयर आर 1573 प्लस कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स इन इंडिया. पीएमसी बैंक क्राइसिस हुआ था इन महाराष्ट्र एंड पंजाब, एंड दैट हैपेंड प्री to Yes Bank in October November 2019. वो आज तक उस पर मॉरेटोरियम चल रहा है, 3 साल 2.5 साल हो चुके हैं. तो कोऑपरेटिव बैंक नहीं होता है, दे आर सोसाइटीज. इफ यू स्टिल वांट टू बिलीव देम एज बैंक, योर चॉइस. I leave that to you. Thank you, Dr. Ruchir. So I hope I've given you something, some food for thought, some you can say. Again, as I said, your views, your comments, your appreciation would decide whether I take on banking in the next, or of course another topic in the next Thunder Thursday session. So thank you so much. Take care. Have a great weekend, which is coming up in a day or so. So I'll see you on Monday with episode number 4 of Miraculous Mondays. Till that, have a great weekend and have a great week ahead. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care.